What up? What up? It is your boy, the one, the only, the fucking phenomenon. Call me crazy, aka Kobe Nasir Wallace. Mr. Wallace, if you're nasty, okay? And tonight you are gracing this live for a very, very, very special occasion because tonight, as you can see here in here, the Crazy Talk podcast presents All Grown Up. This is my second installment of a many. They said we live. Noah Tip in the building. What up, Noah Tip? Noah Tip in the building. Yes, this is another installment into a mini of series, a mini of editions that the Crazy Talk podcast will do. And in the spirit of being all grown up, okay, you can't do this without a grown panel, right? A panel that is actually all grown up, that lives it, breathes it, walks the talk. And so, with that being said, of all the Crazy Talk podcast co-hosts, the one that I chose to bring on with me to do All Grown Up is the one, the only one of my favorite people in the world, Mickey. Mickey, aka Michelle, aka one of the fucking greatest. Okay, they said she is here, she is live, and she is in color. Mickey,
Hi, how are
how
you?
are you? Miss Busy, how are you? They said we are finally starting this series. We talked about it for a while now. We both worked diligently in creating it. And I'm actually proud of both of us that it is finally happening. We are here and we are recording the first episode of All Grown Up. Mm. They said she got her wine. Do you have your wine with you, Mickey?
Of course I do.
They said it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a Crazy Talk podcast episode, and it would not be the first episode of All Grown Up if Mickey didn't have her wine. Okay? If she did not have her wine. Yes. So tonight, Mickey, it's actually going to be really cool, really chill. We are going to give our audience a chance to get to know us, right? If you are an avid watcher of the Crazy Talk podcast, then you know that we are usually talking about topics. We're usually talking about what's out there in the zeitgeist, what's being talked about in the diaspora, and we debate on that. They said, and so this is going to be a bit different. Because although we are going to integrate real world topics, real world problems, shit that we see and experience in real life, we are also going to talk about it personally, from a personal level, from a personal perspective at times. And I think that our audience, our supporters are truly, truly going to glean a lot from that, right? They said, to start off, instead of telling you all who I am, because I feel like I've done that enough, right? They said, and instead of Mickey telling you who she is, right? We are going to flip it. We are going to talk about how we feel. My co-host, our co-host, meaning vice versa, meaning Mickey for me and me for her. We are going to talk about how we feel our co-host best qualifies to be not only on this platform, but to speak about things that are truly impacting our generation and our culture. Right, Mickey? They said,
Right.
you want me to go first? I'll go first.
I
They
would love
said,
for you to go first, honestly. But before you go first,
okay.
I want you to let them know. I want you to tell them
Uh-huh.
why you call me Mickey. My name on the screen says M.
Oh,
Lynn. Okay.
right.
The trailer introduced me as Michelle.
As
But when you
Michelle, it
speak
did.
about me, you say Mickey.
I do.
So I think we
Um.
should get into that. Like, where does that come from?
Okay.
And
Okay.
and what's my name?
And what's your name? Okay. So this is Michelle, right? She is the Michelle. I do know her full name, but I'm not going to do that to her on this live, right? They said,
Please don't.
why do I call her Mickey? Well, I met Michelle in high school. Yes, I know we're old. We're so old. I graduated college. She's set in stone in her career on to the next career. We'll talk about that later. They said, and we are completely different people. We are grown adults now. And so
Grown as
Mickey,
fuck.
I'm not really sure exactly where Mickey came from. I feel like almost our whole, group called you Mickey. But of course, oh, I was about to be, fuck it, I'm gonna be shady. They said it, but of course, I'm the only one still around. So I have the pleasure of being the only person who calls her Mickey. They said, so yeah, because our friendship has grown so much and evolved so much over time that I feel like Mickey sums it up. Michelle,
Okay.
Mickey, the new Michelle, it all encompasses, right? So yeah, that's where Mickey came from. But I'm actually glad you brought that up because before we talk about kind of how we feel each other qualify, I think it's best that we touch on our friendship, right?
Hmm.
I
I
think I
think so
think it's
too.
best that we touch on that. Like you said, like I said, we met in high school, right? We met in high school freshman year, 2017. I want to say that was 2017. Yeah,
2017, yeah.
yeah, 20.
That's crazy.
Jesus, 27. We
Almost
would know each other
11
almost
years
10
ago.
years. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They said,
Insane.
and it, uh, bestie. That is my bestie. That is my bestie, Big Mama in the house. Yes, yes, she is at home
Period.
right now taking care of my darling. Yes, my little stinker poo poo. Yes, Trent, welcome in,
Mhm.
welcome in. Welcome to the first episode of All Grown Up with me and yours truly, Mickey. But we are talking about how me and Mickey met. Yeah, we met in high school. And I will say, I will say, I think we had a conversation kind of about this a couple days ago, and I don't think anybody who knows us in person, who actually knows us, would think that the high school Kobe, right, as they like to say, or the high school Michelle would have been friends, right? You had this loudmouth, obnoxious, cocky, but very, very confident asshole in me. And then you had what people perceived to be the uppity, standoffish cheerleader, princess. That's the word, right? That's the kind of view that they had of you, right? And I think for a lot of people, they can't fathom how those, personalities meshed, right? I would say for me, it's almost very easy and it's very evident and very clear, I would say, within my friendships that I like strong females. I like females with strong personalities. They said because
Exactly.
I have a strong personality. And they said, so for me, I was actually always kind of drawn to you because you were very feisty at the mouth, right? You were very quick witted and quick with a comeback and very emotional, right? They said so. They said clock it exactly. They said I love a strong female. Yeah. They said
Mhm.
so. For me, it was never really, a question. Of course, I'm friends with her, and then once we became friends, we actually became friends because we had known each other all through high school. But I wouldn't say, in my opinion, that we became friends until about junior senior year. What are your thoughts on how we met and how our friendship came to be?
I feel like, well, first of all, I want to touch on everyone's perception of me in high
Hmm.
school. It's just so unfortunate
Right.
because I was the total opposite.
At heart, yes, yes.
At heart, yeah. I am a very humble, down to earth girl, but I always been. I probably didn't do a good job of showing that,
Right. Okay.
but I've always been a down to earth, fun girl. You know what I mean?
Are you
Def
a girl's girl?
I'm definitely a girl's girl.
That's what
I'm
I
definitely a
would
girl's
say.
girl.
You are definitely a girl's girl.
100%.
From knowing
I
you
am.
from then until now, you are definitely a girl's girl.
But
Um,
I don't get
yeah, go ahead,
mad.
go ahead.
I don't get mad at people's perception of me back then
Uh huh.
because that's what I showed.
Right.
So I
And you
don't get
also
mad
can't
at
get
it.
mad at how people may have perceived you. Right. I think we talk about
No.
that a lot in a lot of the conversations we have. We
Mm-mm.
maybe get called that. I agree. Just got to talk to you and get to know you. Exactly. Literally.
Exactly.
Literally. They said,
This
and
is
I would
coming from
say
somebody that went to our same high school.
same high school, literally. And that's my best friend. So I would say all three of us are the kind of people who you have to get to know first. We're not just
100%.
going to completely blossom like a flower when you meet us. That's just not how
Mm-mm.
the type of people we are, right? They said, but I would say all those things are true. Spot on 100%. They said, what would you say? How would you say our friendship came to be? How would you say, you
Right.
viewed me and then make that correlation?
Um, I'm not gonna name drop, but unfortunately, I do have to bring up this person because this person I feel like has a lot to do with our friendship. So,
Oh
and
my
this is
God.
me going back. This is me going back years, 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 years. So I don't remember exactly
Hmm.
how we became friends. I don't think you even remember exactly how we
Yeah,
became
I don't
friends.
remember exactly. Yeah.
No, like you were on the football team, I was a
A cheerleader.
cheerleader.
Yep.
Um, I dated somebody that was on the football team, and the person
Yeah.
that I was with was very close to you,
Yeah. Yep.
and I think still is. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mhm.
So I kind of think that's how we got a little close, just because you were close to the person that I was dating,
Right. Proximity.
and right, proximity. And then I loved your goofy asshole personality. It was funny to me.
Yeah. I
So
get that a
a
lot.
mix, a mix, and the arrogance of it all too. I love it. Um, so those two things combined, I think that's what like attracted us together. And then you saying that you liked a strong personality. I can second that. I love people with strong personalities.
Mhm.
That's my type. That's my
Yeah.
kind. I
Absolutely.
don't do too well, honestly, with people that are the opposite of that, just because, and I think you can feel me when I say this, Kobe,
It can be
us,
intimidating.
it can be intimidating. And then they automatically assume that we are uppity, stuck up, rude, mean, whatever,
Judgmental. Yep.
judgmental, because they have a low person. What do you call it? A low personality? What do you call
Low
it?
self esteem.
Low
Yeah.
self esteem. There you go.
Yep.
The
Low self
wine.
esteem.
It's getting to
Free
me.
viewers, let's go. What's up?
Um,
What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. You are tuning in to the first ever
period.
episode of All Grown Up. It is me and yours truly, Michelle. Continue,
Hi.
Mickey.
I am forgetting that this is live. But anywho,
Right?
they're lucky because they're getting the real uncut version of us. This is
Right.
live, like no
Yeah.
edits. Are y'all
No
lucky?
edits.
You should be.
They said no
Uh,
edits. Hey.
but no, like what was I saying?
They said it's funny that all the people they thought that about are the best people. Literally.
That is
I love
so
authentic people
true.
who are themselves. Hello.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hello.
Okay, so the people with the low self-esteem,
Okay.
when they come across a person like you or I,
Hmm.
they're immediately intimidated. We're all these things. We're stuck up. We're bougie. I mean, I am bougie. So I guess I should lower that.
Yeah.
We're stuck up. We're stuck up and we're mean.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for us to function around a person with a low self esteem,
Or who or
unfortunately.
who or who is inauthentic, right?
Yeah, or fake.
Yeah, in other words, they said, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of the backstory there on one, how me and Mickey met, and then kind of going into, how we became to be friends. I thought when you were talking about that person in common, I I thought you were talking about my person in common. They said,
Who is your
um
person in common?
well,
I
well,
saw
we're
eyes in the
we're not going to
comments
name
and
drop.
faces.
They
Who are we
said
talking about?
we're not going to name drop. They said, but you know, you at one point you had a favorite on of us
Oh,
all, right?
I did have a favorite. Y'all,
And
Kobe right now is bringing me back. And
yes,
first of all, I just want to say this before we go on.
hmm
Anytime I talk to me and Kobe are really close, right?
yes,
Anytime I talk to Kobe, it kind of like not humbles me, but you know when they say like you really gotta stay grounded.
yeah.
She mentioned I'm confused too now.
They said
um,
no. I'm talking about
we're not gonna say it because we're
yeah,
not name dropping.
yeah.
Okay, I'm in a new season of my life. I'm not messy.
I am.
No, but I mean, what was I saying? It's the wine. What was I saying?
Yeah, you were saying
No one knows what I was saying.
oh, you were saying because you were talking about
It was really good.
yeah, it was. You were
Yeah.
talking about me, you know, because I was saying how you had a favorite of us all, and then you were saying me and you talk every day. There we go.
Oh,
Got
okay,
back on
okay,
track.
okay.
There we go. Boom.
We don't talk every day, but when we do talk, you know how they say like it don't matter how much you elevate, no matter how much you change, and blah blah blah. You always want to
Mhm.
one don't forget where you came from, and perspective is everything. So I feel like depending on your perspective of that sentence, you may feel differently about that. Okay,
Right.
we might get into that a little later. We should get into that a little later. But
Let's do it.
grounded, how they be saying like, you gotta stay grounded. Kobe keeps me grounded because we were in high school together. Like we were kids together and now we're adults. Every time I
Right.
talk to him. Now, where was I going with this?
I'm not sure where you were going with it, but I actually I
Okay.
can build upon it because it's actually
Okay.
kind of in the realm where I was going.
Okay.
Like you were saying, I keep you grounded because we knew each other as kids, and now here we are as grown adults in completely different spaces of our
Oh, that's what
lives.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
He takes me back to when we were sometimes when we have conversations,
Mhm.
not all the time. We're not just talking about high school every time we get on the phone and speak to
Absolutely not.
each
It's
other.
actually rare
God,
that we talk about high
it
school.
is rare.
Yeah.
But he reminds me of when I was a kid. Like he reminds me of my
Right.
teenage years. And it brings back nostalgia.
Mm.
So that's what made me think of that because you mentioned I had a favorite out of all of
Yeah.
you guys. And I
Yeah.
definitely did have a favorite out of the
And
football
let's
players.
just
I
say
did.
it didn't turn out to be that way. Yeah, they said it didn't turn out to be that way. And let me walk with me here, y'all. They said, yeah, she had her fave. However, there was the one who she actually talked to, a lot. Actually discuss things with about what was going on with her, and I would talk about what was going on with me. But I would say the crux of our relationship really got stronger when we left high school.
100%.
They said, when you, yeah, they said, I remember now. Yeah, Dinka, right? She's gonna love that. They said, yeah, we're talking about that one. They said, there we got closer when we left high school because we were now going through different shit and talking more outside of having to be in school, right? Outside of talking when we're in school or being around each other in school. And so now, therefore, we're so close in proximity that we talk a lot, right? So this was kind of the building of the true friendship after high school was us. talking, making that time to really get to know each other as who we are and who we want to become, and all those things. Which then led to, of course, me being her fave, because how can you be around Kobe? How can you talk to Kobe and not fall in love with it? I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I'm really a good dude.
You are.
They say yes, I'm really a good dude. And when I meet good people, they last. At least in my life, and they last. I don't have a friend. Well, I do. I was damn Lou. I was about to. I was about to forget about you. They said, "Oh, Kobe, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah." They said, all of my friends are 8 years, 10 years plus friendships, right? They said so, and the ones who aren't, they're 4 year friendships. Tip, Lou, all of them, right? Once I meet my people, I stay with my people. That's just who I am. And they said, and this is kind of important because this is actually the first kind of topic we were slated to talk about tonight. These episodes are not going to be the same, y'all. They will never be the same. One week to the next week. We are so versatile and ever changing. And so much we experience so much shit in the day to day that we could completely come back when we do our next episode in 2 to 3 weeks and be completely different people. That's just where we are in our lives, right? They said, so looking back, right, Mickey? Looking
Hmm.
back on those teen years, those formidable years, we talked about how people viewed us, right? Now let's talk about how we viewed ourselves. What did we think about ourselves during this time? You can go ahead,
That's a good question. And we're still talking
right?
about the high school
Yeah, like
is
the
a big
teen
part of
us,
your
high
teen
school us, yeah, right?
years, right?
Yeah,
You're definitely well. You asked me, so I'm gonna answer like it's me.
right.
Definitely still finding myself 100%. Like
Okay.
still finding myself. Like have no idea who I truly am.
And what and for a teenage young black girl,
Mhm.
what does that look like? What does learning yourself? What does finding yourself? What does not knowing who you are? What does that look like?
Failed friendships,
Okay.
dating. I feel like that's a way to definitely get to know yourself better
Right.
when
Right.
you're dating. Um yeah, but friendships I feel like play a huge part
In
in
developing.
teenagers.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
in your especially in your teenage years. Hmm.
They said 14 to 18 was a time. Well, it was. It really was.
Exactly.
It really was. I think you learn a lot during that time. I think you learn a
Yeah.
lot. I think for a young black man, I think in your teens, you don't only just learn about, I think you learn more about yourself than you do about the world around you. I feel like I'm learning about the world right now. Right, that's where
Yeah.
I am in my 20s. All grown up, I'm learning about the world. I'm experiencing the world. I feel like those, like Trent said, those 14 to 18, that was that lock in with yourself time, right? That was figure out who you are, figure out what you want to do, figure out what you like, figure out all those things. And some people still don't figure it out. You know, that's just that's just what it is. So it's like it was a time. It truly was a time, and I'm grateful that I did have people around me like you, like Trent, like my friends who were my people, right? Because
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going through high school without my people, even the people who I don't talk to anymore, and I don't fuck with like at all anymore. Where like I don't have anybody that I have like smoke with. I would never, because I smoke. Okay,
Absolutely not.
yeah. They said I keeps a good puff. So if you're looking
Mm.
for it, knows I got it. Anyway, they said that, so that for me, I feel like that was such a great time in forming and learning who I am, learning the type of shit that you can withstand, right? I think people make a lot of the nudge towards your 20s. That's when you become resilient. That's when you
Hmm.
create your boundaries, and it's really not. And I want to get your thoughts on that. It's really not. Being in your teens is where you learn your boundaries. It's where you learn the type of shit that you don't like, the type of shit that hurts you, the type of shit that makes you feel this way or that way. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. What do you feel? And feel free to ask me questions about what you think. How do you think for teens, at least in our generation, do you think that was a heavy toll? Having to navigate that, whether we had our parents there, whether we had the resources, being within yourself, how did that feel?
I feel like it's a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot for the it's a lot that you have to go through being the age that we were. Like we're
right.
four what are we 16 not 14. 16
Yeah, we
freshman year?
no, we were 14. I
No,
was
we were
14.
14. Like we're
Yeah, I was 14.
14 years old. And now at 22 about to be 23, I look back on the fact that we were only 14. I have little cousins that are only 14. And it's
Right.
like, dang, the shit that I went through when I was 14, it's like, that's a lot for a kid. And at
Mhm.
14, you're still a kid.
Yeah,
Whether we thought we was kids or not, you're still a kid
that part.
at 14. You don't know half as much as you think you know, but you're going through a major shift and transition in your life. Like we're going from middle school to high school, and I feel like that's a big jump that's not talked about enough. Like we're going from 8th grade to freshman year of high school.
Literally.
We're in the same school as the 12th graders, the 17 and the 18-year olds.
That's a great
That's
point to
who
bring up. Yeah.
that's who we're surrounded by. And I feel like for us, me and Kobe, when we were freshmen,
Mhm.
we had more than enough going on. We're on the football team and we're on the cheerleading team, but we're on the varsity football team and we're on the varsity cheerleading team. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm just saying, like,
I am.
all day, every day, we're surrounded by the big dogs.
Yeah,
We're surrounded by the 17 and the 18-year olds,
that's a great point you bring up. So
at 14.
you feel like that had a lot to do with almost how quickly we were kind of integrated within it all. Us
Yes.
being okay. I agree. I agree. I agree. I want to know what y'all think. Trent, let me know what you think. Um, do you think during that time in high school, those were the years where we were learning ourselves? Do you feel like those were the years where you learned your boundaries for what you were going to allow in friendships, in dating, and in shit like that? Let me know. And is it just us, or did you feel that way as well? They said while she types that, you brought up a great point. Us being around the big dogs. That I
Mhm.
never looked at it that way. I never looked at it that way. She said, oh, yes, definitely learned a lot about what I fuck with and what I don't fuck with. Absolutely, absolutely. Those are the years where like I've been saying, you learn those boundaries, right, Mickey?
Mhm.
How did that translate into what you wanted to do, like career wise or education wise? Like for me, I knew I always wanted to go to college, right? Did learning yourself in high school, did that alter what you wanted to do after high school? Did that set in stone what you wanted to do? Where were you at during that transition time, that in between high school and college, and what did that path look like for you?
The short answer is no.
Oh.
Mm-mm. I had no idea. Well, I wasn't figuring it out in high school.
Hmm.
Um, I wasn't trying to figure it out in high school. I don't know what the fuck I was doing in high school because it wasn't
Right.
trying to figure out what I was doing after.
Hmm.
Maybe if I could go back, I'd probably change that. But no, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I
Okay.
knew what my parents wanted,
Mm.
and what my parents wanted was college. So I just was like, I'm just gonna do what my parents want.
Right.
That was mindset back then. I'm just gonna do whatever my parents want for me because I want to make them happy.
Right. And we'll definitely have a later episode about, our
Yeah,
dynamics and our dynamics with our families and our dynamics with our parents, so y'all can get to know us more in that aspect.
can get into
But
that later.
when, like you said, you know what your parents wanted you to do. You know that, and was that college? That's what they wanted you to
Yes.
do after high school, right?
Yes,
Okay,
that was
so
college.
and so talk to me about that. Talk to me about that. Being because that's a different space than what I was in, right? They
Yeah,
said
it is.
I changed my mind on so many times what I wanted to do in high school and then changed again outside of it. Literally. And this
At
is
least you
so
were
common.
thinking about what you wanted to do in high school. I
Yeah.
like that wasn't even a thought for me. When I was in
Yeah.
high school, I wasn't thinking about what I wanted to do after. Like it was
Mm.
just no thought. The only thought I had was college because my
Talk to me about
parents
how
wanted me to
common
do
that
that.
is.
You think it's common?
At
Wait,
least in the black
I wanna
community.
say
Yeah.
something. I wanna
But
say something for the people. Me and Colby are close. We have a very great relationship, but we
rarely.
don't agree on everything. We don't. We don't. So
Yeah.
this podcast, you're going to see us go back and forth about a lot of stuff
And you
because
will see times where maybe I change my mind or maybe she changes her. You will see it all. Yes.
there
Yes.
will be times where I'm set in stone on how I feel, and then
Mm-hmm.
Kobe will say something, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, I can see it like
And
that."
vice versa. Yep.
And now I've changed my mind. But
Yep.
this is not gonna be a like whatever my friend says and like type of thing. Like, no, I don't agree with everything he says. Um, anywho, what was your question?
I'm excited for this too. They
I'm excited
said,
for this too.
what the question. What was the question?
And also, this is us in real time,
Yeah.
jumping from top. Like, it's hard for us to stay on one
It
topic.
really is. It really
We're
is.
trying to be
And that's why
professional
I
and
wanted
cute.
to do this because I feel like for us, this is the better format than, us being structured and reading down a run sheet.
We are
And
not.
yeah,
We don't have a structured friendship.
which is why, we're going to talk about next. What we have slated to talk about next is
Wait,
basically
I think I should answer your
going.
question
No, I'm
first.
about to reiterate it. Yeah, going
Okay.
into our like into our education. I wanted you to talk about how
Okay.
common it was because you and Trenton both talked about how y'all changed your minds a lot in high school, or maybe you weren't thinking about what you wanted to do outside of high school while in
Mhm.
high school. I wanted you to talk to me about how common that is, at least in our community, in our culture. How common that is to not know what it is you want to do.
Okay, at first I was saying, do you think it's common? But now, as I'm like sitting here thinking or listening to you ask me the question again,
Hmm.
it is common. I think it is common
Right.
that us in high school we're not thinking about the next steps, and I think that's why a lot of us end up in the position. Well, not us. A lot of them end up in the position that they are in because they were not thinking while they were in high school about what it is that they wanted to do. But I think the difference
Hmm.
between me and them is I wasn't thinking because my parents had a plan for me and I just wanted to make them happy. They
Okay.
weren't thinking because I don't know. Maybe we should bring them on the podcast and ask, why weren't you
Right.
thinking about what was going to happen after high school?
Right. Right.
It's a great
So
question.
talk to me about what that looks like. Talk to me about um actually we'll save that for when we do talk about our dynamics with our parents because I wanted to ask what does that look like wanting to make your parents happy because like I said me and Mickey have a lot of different point of views and we have a lot of different thoughts, right? And so for me when you said that I never knew what that felt like, make my parents
Right.
happy.
You have no
You
idea
better
what
be
that feels
happy.
like because
Go
you
be
do whatever
society.
you want to do.
They said yeah,
Um, but
you know.
it really is. I mean, we can get into it later if
Mhm.
you want, but it
We
really is
definitely
just
can.
simple. Whatever
um
they say, do.
right. They said they didn't even really start pushing us to think until junior year, and then we went into quarantine for COVID. I would agree with that too. I feel like the resources for us were a little dimmer. It seemed like I feel like um
Mm.
like pre-high school, right? You always kind of saw the promotions. Oh, go to college, or make sure you're always looking into your college. Your freshman year is always the most important, and da 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 da. And then it seemed like once we got to high school, it all kind of fizzled out, right? Which brings me to the next topic, because we were talking about our education paths, right? And I see you put on here educated black man, right? And so I could only think of one thing that meant, right? Me said,
Please.
um, you know, me and you talk at length about my desire and my will towards becoming a college graduate
Hmm.
and graduating college, not only going to college, but graduating, finishing, and taking what I learned in college and taking it seriously as a passion and as a career, right? Because not many people are able to do that. Not many people are able to, one, get into college, pay for it, survive it, and then take what they learn and actually love it. Use what they learned, their major. Some people go in, I can't even count how many people I know have gone to college or in college still currently who hate their fucking major and could never see themselves doing it outside of college. And for me, that's like high school. That's like elementary school. This is shit you don't want to do, but you do it because you have to. You don't have to do college,
Hmm.
right? And so when you are here, I feel like you should do what it is you want to do and be passionate about that, right? So being an educated black man, I don't know if you've ever read my my graduation post, but it reads, being an educated black man for me was always in the script. It was a part, always a part of the movie. So for me, it's something that I look at as a necessity. I needed that in order to be Kobe Nasir Wallace. I want you to talk to me about your flip of the coin, because there are so many flips to this coin that even us two don't encompass all of what it takes. I don't think many people know your story. I want you to tell them your story. What happened? Did you go to college? Were you in college? How long were you in college? What did you do? Beyond that.
I Okay. So I feel like this story is it it has potential to be a really long story, but I'm gonna kind of give the short version. And if it's long once I'm finished, don't be mad. Okay.
Mhm.
Don't be like, she said she was gonna give the short version. I'm gonna try my best to give the short version. Okay.
All right.
So I'm after high school, I'm doing what my parents told me to do, what I believe is just the right thing to do because I want to please both of my parents. I loved the way it felt to get recognition and applause from my parents and my family. That was
Mhm.
great for me. So of course I'm going to continue that after high school. I'm not going to stop now. So I went to college. The first university I went to was Bowie State University in Bowie, Maryland. I went there for an entire year. I did not enjoy my experience there.
Mhm.
And I thought I wasn't enjoying my experience there because the university just wasn't it for me, or it just wasn't as fun for me, or it didn't fit my particular vibe.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to transfer to somewhere else and maybe I'll have a better experience there. So I put in a transfer to Delaware State University and the illustrious
The illustrious.
Delaware State University, and I started classes there. Um we were about halfway through the first semester, and I still, although Delaware State University was more fun or more my vibe, I still wasn't happy there. And I couldn't really put my finger on it as to why or what the issue was.
Right.
So, to make a long story short, I just made up in my mind that it's probably not the university and it's probably just the fact that I'm in college
Mm,
as to why I am not happy and I'm just not having a good time.
right.
So I made a decision to find something else. But now I'm on a mission because what could this something else be? My
Mm,
entire life, I am, doing things to please my parents. I was in high school we went to a technology school, so everybody was in what we called shops, which is like career areas. And
yep.
my career area in high school was law because I was obsessed with law, specifically criminal law. And at that time, I thought I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney. I went to college and my major was criminal justice to then go to law school to be a criminal defense attorney. Like that's what I was just on. I told my parents that. My parents were all for it. Okay, that's your plan. That's what you're going to be. But when I'm in these colleges, I'm not feeling the vibe.
Right.
Still love law, still love crime. Even to this day, I still love all of that, but I realized like that's just not what I want to do. I don't want to spend my life in courts. I don't want to spend my life in prisons. That's I don't see that for myself. So I had no idea what it is that I could do.
Right.
So now I'm on a mission, like I said, to figure it out to figure out what exactly it is that I'm gonna do. Ended up going to therapy
Instead of college.
instead of college, exactly.
Right.
I ended up going to therapy. A therapist put a bug in my ear.
Okay. So you've been to therapy.
Well, I'm actually not going to give the therapist all the credit. I have to shout out my dad.
Mm,
My entire life, my father has told me that he wants me to be, he called it an airline stewardess, but that is a flight attendant in today's terms. That's what it was called back then.
right.
And I always would shut him down. Like, I don't want to be in the air 24/7. And that's ridiculous. Like, what do you mean I'm flying in the sky 24/7? Like, no, that's insane. I don't want to do that.
Hmm.
Had a therapy session and the therapist said to me, well, I can tell you don't want to be in college, so what is it that you want to do? And I whispered
And I love
underneath my
that you thought that you brought up therapy. We
Mhm.
we're going to dive into that in
Yeah,
a later
and me and
episode, but
Kobe
we're going to dive into
have
that.
have we have different opinions on therapy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anywho,
Although I do think it's a necessity. Although I do,
we still have
we do
different
have different
opinions on
opinions
it.
on it. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you
We
won't
do.
go. You need to.
I
Um,
won't. I will not. Okay. Because
but
I'm all grown
anywho,
up.
no, not the right attitude to have towards it. So I'm in therapy. I'm in a therapy session. She says, I know you don't want to do this. So what is it that you want to do? She just asked me straight up like that. And I said underneath my breath, I said, well, my dad always wanted me to be a flight attendant. I like what Trinity
Please do
just said.
tune in.
I think Trinity should be one of our guests on here, or maybe just plug her in for a little segment because I like her little
Okay.
opinions. I don't agree with
Yeah.
them all,
Right.
but I'm willing to debate them.
Yeah.
Anywho, stay on topic.
Okay. Okay.
So the therapist said what she said. I said, well, my dad always wanted me to be a flight attendant. And like I whispered it. So she's like, what? What did you just say? But she got excited. And I saw like excitement in her eyes. And she's like,
Mm,
what? Like that. And I like repeated it, but I whispered it again. And she was like, my friend is in the airline industry. And I think she said friend. I don't really remember. This is all so vague to me.
mm.
She calls up someone. I remember, like right in the therapy session, she calls someone on speaker and it's like, I'm in a therapy
Way to use
session
up
with
my
one of my
time.
clients. I'm in a therapy session with one of my clients and she's telling me she wants to be a flight attendant. How does she do it? And the girl said on the phone, she just goes on the airline's website and applies. And so she hangs up the phone. She looks at me and she's like, oh, all you got to do is go on the airline's websites and apply. She went on an airline website that in that moment and
Chose
scrolled
you.
down to careers and said, this is where you do it at.
Right.
I left that therapy session, went back to my dorm room at Delaware State University, and applied to every single airline that I could think
Knew of.
of.
Right. And
Should
how
I
did that
go
work out?
further? Like this story is very deep and long.
Yeah. How did
Pause.
how did that work out?
So I'm applying. I told y'all I applied to every single airline that I could think of, right? But I'm 19 years old. So I'm
That's
just
also important
ignorant.
to add.
It is very important to add because I'm ignorance on fire. She told me all I gotta do is go to these websites, these airlines websites,
When you were at DSU.
and very babe,
Sophomore
it
year?
was literally for like 4 weeks. This was
Yeah.
half of the semester I'm doing this. Y'all gotta follow me. I don't even think was it four? It might have been three. I don't
No, it
know.
was quick. It was I remember because you lived right in the dorm right across from me. So
Yeah.
you were there for a quick hot minute.
We didn't have time to hang out.
Yeah, yeah. It was literally like
Um,
a couple, yeah.
so I'm ignorance on fire. I'm applying
Hmm.
to everybody. I'm 19 though, and I'm getting immediate rejections. Like I'd apply, hours later I'd get rejections, and I'd be like, "What's going on here?" And I would look at the rejections that I'm getting,
Hmm.
and then I would read, and it would say you have to be 21. But homegirl just told me that I'm 19 and I could still be a flight attendant. So guess what I did?
What you do?
I went on TikTok.
They said, what you do? What you do?
I went on TikTok and I searched flight attendant at 19, or how can people be flight attendants at 19? Something along the lines of like flight attendant at 19, because I
Mhm.
knew there were flight attendants that were my age. Homegirl just told me, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, it's possible. So it's not it can't be every airline that has to be
Right.
21 because there are 19-year-old flight attendant. No, I typed in 19-year-old flight attendant. And so, research comes up when you type in stuff. So, but right, I think she said love a good TikTok search.
Hmm.
That is so normal to do now, like to search anything in TikTok. But back then, that was not normal. TikTok back then was very much dancing still, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not what it is now. It wasn't then what it is now. So I was doing research. And then I found out that 19-year-olds that were flight attendants were flight attendants for regional carriers. So then I started
Mm.
to apply to the regional carriers, and immediately I started hearing back. I started hearing back. I did all my interview, a flight attendant interview process and onboard, what do you call it? The hiring
Onboarding.
process. Hiring process for a flight attendant is very difficult. It's long and it's intense.
Hmm.
So all my interviews I was doing in my dorm room against the wall in my dorm room. And I found out speed up the story.
Right.
Um I was
Yeah, I
walking
was gonna
back to
ask
my
where.
dorm room.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was I we will get into that at a later date. I'll just say I was walking back from a class to
Hmm.
my dorm room, and I got a call. I answered the call, but at this time, I'm like right outside my dorm steps. Like I'm right there. I'm
Right.
at my dorm room. I'm at my dorm building, but I'm
Hmm.
not. I didn't enter the building yet. And I answered the call outside. It was a nice day out. I'll never forget. And she's like, "Hi, is this Michelle?" I said, "Yes. So we want to offer you the position to be a flight attendant, or we want to offer you the position to come to training for the position of, flight attendant for this airline." And
And
obviously
which
I said
airline was that?
yes. We won't say the airline,
Are we
but
not
it
gonna
was a
say it? A
no,
really big one.
but
Yeah,
but it was a regional of a really big one.
but it was a
Yeah.
big one.
But it was a big one. So I said, thank you. Of course, I accepted the offer, right? I hung up the phone with
Right.
her and I was just crying. And from that day on, My life changed.
Right.
Oh, should I continue? I feel like it's important to continue
Well, I mean,
to
yeah.
say how I
Tell them
left
where.
and
Tell them where. Oh well, yeah, yeah. Tell them exactly what you did
okay.
right after that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
So when I got that information, I'm still outside my dorm room. Of course, I call my mother, I call my father, and they're both ecstatic for
Period. Yep.
me. I go inside the dorm. Oh, and she offers me the training for next week. I gotta fly all the way to Arizona
Mm,
from Philly next week. So I'm like, I have a whole dorm that I gotta pack up. So I went right in that dorm room. I started packing that day. I started packing everything by myself. I was packing everything. Um, that day I was like, wait, I gotta tell them that I'm leaving. Tell
right.
them, meaning the college, that I'm leaving. So I go to the administration. I don't know how to drop out. I don't know how to do it. I'm ignorance on fire. But I'm so
Mm,
elated. I'm literally on cloud nine. Whatever I gotta do, maybe I'm doing it. I walk to the administration building, they're closed. I'm like, okay, no
mm,
problem. I'll just come back tomorrow. Go back to my room. I finish packing. Went to sleep that night, woke up the next morning. As soon as I washed up, got dressed, I went straight to that administration office building. And I remember it being so easy. This is so important. When God has a plan for you in your life, it's
mm.
just gonna flow to you so naturally, so easily. Like you'll be looking back like, wait, it was that easy? Yeah, because that was God's plan for you. You don't have to worry about nothing. I have no idea how to drop out of college, right? I did know I'm smart enough to know that I have to go to an administration building, obviously. But I don't know what to do when I get there. I don't even know who to see. But everything was just happening. It was like this, like it was just like flowing.
Right.
I remember I had to like put my name down. I had to wait for my name to be called. They called my name. I walked up to the lady and I said, "Hi, how do you drop out of college?" She goes, "Oh, you just signed this paper right here." It's like she turned around, grabbed the paper, and put it in front of my face and said, "Sign right there." I remember thinking to myself, it's that easy, but I didn't question it. I took the paper, I signed my name. I said, "Here you go." I said, "That's it?" She said, "Yes. Have a nice day." You too. And I walked right out of that building. I'm dropped out of college, right?
Fast forward
Yes,
to 2026,
yes.
February of 2026. Who and where is Michelle now?
Oh my God. That was a regional airline. I'm no longer with the regional airline. I'm with a main line. I'm a part of, I'm not going to say that carrier, but I'm a part of one of the legacy big three airlines.
Hmm.
Um, I, oh my God, so many states
How long have
later,
you been a flight attendant?
I am now in
How
my
long you?
fifth year,
Mm,
my fifth
mm,
year being a
going
flight
on
attendant,
6.
going on six.
Mm. And
Mhm.
what other luxuries has finding a career afforded you?
First of all, money. And I don't care what anybody says, but money brings a lot of things and opportunities. So if
Right.
I would give anybody advice, it would be to go get some money.
Go get you
Okay.
some.
For real though. Like I'm not
Yeah.
even just saying that. If you have an opportunity to go get you some money,
Do it.
go get you some money. For sure. Take advantage of that. Because it's
Yeah.
so much money in the world, baby.
So much.
And
And
they just giving it out.
giving it
If
out.
you have a talent, I promise you they are. If you have
Or
a
an idea,
talent, an
something,
idea, if
a
you're
product.
creative, a product, we gonna clock that T. Shout out
Yeah.
to pharmacy.
They said so. Yes. And so now the many different avenues that you have been afforded from finding your stepping stone in life, right?
Hmm.
And I think it is important. It is important for all of the Crazy Talk viewers, for all of the all grown up audience. It is important that And even if the people who tune into this aren't just people our age or aren't just people in our generation, maybe they're younger and they are going through what we've gone through. It is okay to not know. It is okay
100%.
to figure it the fuck out. And it is okay, most of all, and the most important, in my opinion, it is okay to take your time.
Mhm.
It's okay. Because as you've seen from Michelle, it worked out. When she listened to God and she listened to her gut, it worked out. And for me, when I
Mhm.
listened to God, and this may ruffle some feathers, but on All Grown Up, on the Crazy Talk podcast, I have to be me. I have to be authentic and I have to be real. I don't know what my relationship with God is, but I do know that listening to whoever it is, whoever God is for me, has helped me a lot. Right? It has helped me a lot. And listening to my gut, I would say my gut, I have a lot of it. My gut is a lot of the reason why I have followed the paths that I follow. Because when I find something and when I dig my heels in and I'm determined about getting or achieving something, there's almost nothing that can stop me. Right? And that's just the type of people that we are, right, Mickey? And in the closing moments of the very first episode of the newest series of the Crazy Talk podcast, All Grown Up, I want to say, I want to end this off with, we talked about how we met, we talked about our teen years, we talked about our education past, and now our early careers flowing into who we are at this current moment. But I want the people to understand what we want to happen still. Some of the things we still want to achieve and are still beckoning for. What are your 2026 or just some of your 2026 goals, aspirations, and resolutions?
It really is just abundance and prosperity. Truly, abundance and prosperity.
Okay, abundance and prosperity. And in that light, I'm going to say mine's is, well, there's a couple of things. As y'all know, there's a little announcement list for the Crazy Talk podcast listeners. There are more Black Box experiences coming out. There are more exclusive interviews coming out. They said at the end of this month, the 27th through the 3rd, I will be doing a little streamathon. They said a little IRL streamathon, a weekend in the Poconos, if you will, and it will be streamed all live on my Twitch. I'm setting up my Twitch right now, so I will have all of that out for y'all by the time that comes. They said, Nikki, me and you talked. I have to do a movie by the end of 2026. I want to at least fully write and script a movie. And hopefully I do have the means and time to get that, hopefully filmed. They said I
Not
have a lot of shit to
hopefully,
do.
you will.
I will. I will find the time. I will have the time to get that done and filmed. And last but not least, in the spirit of Mickey, what you said, for me, my two words is realization. Realization and ownership.
Can we get into that a little bit? Because I have some
Yeah.
time now that you done took me over. I
Yeah.
told Colby y'all I had a meeting at 8. It's 8:15. But we did start late. So I'm giving
Yeah.
him I'm giving
At no
him
fault of mine.
I'm giving I'm giving all grown up my time because I
Yes.
truly love and care about this podcast. And we didn't say anything. I mean, I did say abundance and prosperity, but I kind of
Abundance and
wanted
prayer.
at least one of us to touch on all grown up. Hello. Like I want
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
abundance and prosperity for for this podcast.
Yeah.
This segment, all grown up.
I feel like
This
you
is
want that for
huge.
every part of your life in every aspect. I want
I
you want
did. I
abundance and
did.
prosperity. Yeah.
I did. But I wanted to specifically plug all grown up.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Specific. Yeah. And specifically plug where we can follow, support, and engage with you. Where can we do that?
I hate my username, but it is what it is for now. I can't get the username that I want because someone has it. But my Instagram and everything else is at m.lynn with 3 N's and 3 underscores.
Okay. And you are partner with pharmacy,
I
right?
am.
Talk a little bit
I
about that.
have partnered with a luxury affordable beauty brand in cosmetics,
And for anyone
skincare,
looking to
and
make a little extra
nutrition.
income on the side, what can they do?
And if you are looking to make an extra income on the side, you can reach out to me at my Instagram name and I could put you on. That's what I do. I turn everyday pretty girls into paid influencers. That's my thing.
Yep. And of course, it is your boy. Call me Crazy Kobe Nasir Wallace. Like I said, she wants abundance and prosperity. I had a lot of words. I just only chose two, but I want freedom. I want authenticity. I want creativity. I want imagination. And I'm going to ruffle a couple feathers with this, but after I say it, I'm going to hurry up and jump off. I want love for 2026. That's what I want. Next year, but it's your boy, Call Me Crazy, aka Kobe Nasir Wallace. And with me, it is my lovely co-host, Michelle Mickey, aka Michelle, and it is all grown up. They said, what about that extra income? Slide in her DM. She got all the info for you. They said,
I sure do.
Yes, but this has been amazing, Mickey. This has been, like you said, we are wishing abundance and prosperity for all grown up. And this is the first episode we have just concluded. It's your boy, Call Me Crazy. Like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Go to that page, subscribe up. Thank you. Follow Mickey at m.lynn 3 N's 3 underscores and follow me at callme.crazy on all platforms. It has been fun. It has been fun being grown AF. And on that note, we are out. Crazy gang, stay crazy. Peace.